Yes, started, na? First, upon thing MBA second year, semester third at Human Resources Management Group, organization change and development, and unit one an overview and introductions to organizational development. Unit two and introductions to planned changes. Unit 3 models of changes, and Unit 4 process of organizational development. Unit 5 entering, contracting and diagnosing organization and designing an intervention. Unit 7 term and group interventions. Unit 8 comprehensive uh, intervention structure. Structural intervention, and unit 10 implementation and assessment of a OD. Unit 11 issues and ethics and consultant client relationship, and unit 12 future trends in organization development. One thing is add this lecture introductions in this competitive area, and to cope with the various factors in a internal and external environment, and the organization should embrace change, and the organization have to proactively and effect changes in their systems, because without the changes the businesses and would likely lose their competitive edge. It is all about assessing, analyzing, reviewing, and modifying the management structures and businesses process in order to sustain and grow in the competition. The businesses need to adopt cost effective and efficient methods of doing the things. There is no need to rest with the change, because if the organization fails and to meet the demands of the market, surely, and they will lose these their customers. The change drives of any organization include the technology changes and competitive environment, changing consumer demand, economic conditions, and government policy, etc. The dynamism of the environment have changed and influenced the organization and changes. Environmental have changed and influenced the organization and changed the pattern of working. In this, the role of information technology and a communication system and cannot be ignored. And the new businesses models, such as outsourcing and virtual collaborations are the outcomes of these, and helping organizations to learn a lot in a very short span of time. economy is very important in this situation of a change, as it can impact organization in both a positive and negative, both positive and negative ways, and which can be stressful. A strong economic clubbed with an increasing demands, and for a product and services might innovate the addition of staff and new facilities, whereas a weak economic and can create more problems, as the organization have to make very difficult decision with respect to employees and their salaries and jobs. There are government regulations forcing organization to adopt as per the changing preferences of a consumer. The the change is important in an organization, as it is allowing the employee to learn new skills and competencies and explore new opportunities and exercise their creativity in very efficient and effective ways, and that ultimate benefit the organization through new ideas and increased commitment. It is the duty of the topmost authorities of the organization and to prepare employee to deal with the situation and make them ready for the future. In this book, to understand property about the various issues and dimension of changes and development, is divided into two parts: organizational change and organization development. Organizational change is the first part in the book, which deals with the overview of changes and planned changes and the model of changes for better understanding of all the dimension of change. And the second part of this covers the process of organization development and various intervention in this book, to understand properly about the various issues and determinant of a change and development. De development development is divided into two parts: organization change and organization development. Organization change is the first part. First part in the book, and which deals with the overview of change and planned changes and the model of changes, and for the process of organization development, and various intervention at a different levels at last the various at the last various issues and the ethics in consult client relationship and future trends have been discussed. The globalizations has increased on the markets and opportunities for more growth and revenue, but the wait 5 minutes. हाँ बोला सर, नमस्ते. बर बर हा बर बर चालेल. बर बर हा हा बर चालेल चालेल. बर चालेल. हम्म, हा, हम्म. बरं, बरं. ते उद्या दिली तर चालेल का उद्या? नाही नाही ऐका, परवा पेपर आहे आणि तो इकॉनॉमिक्सचा शेवटचा पेपर आहे, त्यामुळे काळजी करू नका. हा हा मग चालेल की उद्या देते की मराठी. हा बरं मग मी सांगते विकीला, तो काढते. हा विकीला सांगते. बर 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 बर. नाही 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 नाही, उद्या काय केलं ना, ते सगळं तिथंच ठेवलंय कॉलेजमध्ये, माझ्याकडे आता काहीच नाही, मी कसं देणार तुम्हाला, म्हणून म्हटलं तुम्हाला उद्या देईल. हा कपाटात. नाही नाही, कपाट म्हणजे तुम्ही दिलेलं ते रिकाम तिथे. नाही नाही, त्यांना त्यांना मी सोडायला येईल मी, ब्रेक द्यायला येईल त्यांना. येते येते पण त्यांना सोडायला येते. 5 मिनिटाचा ब्रेक देतो ना आपण त्यांना, तो द्यायला येतो. ओके. बर 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 बर. नाही घरी थोडीशी अडचण होती म्हणून सर, बाकी काय नाही. आणि प्रवास लांबचा आहे ना, बाकीचे कसे जवळ राहतात ना, गाड्या घेऊन येतात बाकीचे, मी बसनी येते ना. हा, म्हणून म्हणून मी काय म्हणते, मी सोडायला येते प्रत्येकाला, असं करते. बर बर. हम्म, बर येतो. येतो येतो. हो, चालेल sorry to disturb you. Ha, in this book, to understand properly and about various issues and dimension of a change and de-development. Development is divided into parts: organizational changes and organization development. Organizational change is the first part in the book, and which deals with the overview of a change and a planned change and the models of change for better understanding of all the dimension of change. The second part of this covers and the process of organization development and various intervention at different levels. At last, the various issues and ethics in consultant client relationship and a future trends have been discussed. The globalization has increased markets, uh, opportunities to more growth and revenue, but are the same time possesses and various challenges for organization. Therefore, in present scenario of change, it is very important for leaders and managers to manage change and while continue to meet the needs of stakeholders. Different behavioral scientists define OD in different ways to apply the knowledge and practices of behavioral science to improve and the effectiveness of a organization. In organizational setup, OD has four prominent approaches: laboratory, training, and survey, research, and feedback. Action research and sociological and socio technical approaches is the field of OD rates on a fundamental foundation of values and assumptions about the people and organizations. The OD values are considered revolutionary and are widely accepted today. Key terms: assumption, a thing that is accepted is true as or as a certain to happen without a proof. Belief and acceptance that something exists or is true, and especially when with out proof. Change agent, a behavioral scientist who knows how to get people in an organization involved in solving their own problems. Congruence, in it is it is a state of agreement of harmony, capability. Organization development OD, planned approach and to improve employee and organizational effectiveness. And technology, the explanation of a phenomenon by the purpose and the savior rather than the posted cause and value. It's a major influences on a person's behavior and attitude and serves as board guideline in all a situation. Exercise and questions. Describe organization development in terms of its characteristics as a valid tool for bringing about change within the organization. To discuss briefly the approaches of organization development. 3. Explain the nature, scope, and objectives of organization development. And fourth one, discuss the implication of values, assumption, and beliefs of organization development, and describe the role of a change and agent in the process of organization development. Further, and reading uh, Unit 2 and introductions to planned change. Introduction to planned change structure 2.0, introductions 2.1, unit objectives 2.2, meaning of changes, and 2.3, simulating forces for a change, and 2.3, one external process, and 2.3, internal forces, or 2.4, change programs, and 4, individual level change, and 2.4, group level change, 2.4, organizational level change, managing plan change, planning for changing, assets change, process, implementing change, and summary, key terms and exercise and question. Further reading. Introductions. Organizational change is the process by which the organization move and from their present state and to desire state in order to increase their efficiency and effectiveness in a present competitive scenario. Survival of even the most successful organization cannot be taken for granted. The ultimate objectives of a organizational change and is to find new and improved methods of using the human and non-human resources and to create value and improve returns to its stakeholders. Unit objectives. After reading this unit, you should be able to know about the definitions of the plan and unplanned change and the nature and of change, the simulating forces of change and the various levels of change programs and the different ways of managing of changes. And introductions, planned changes, notes, meaning of change. Organization is social system and consists of a different interrelated subject subsisting, and if some disturbance is there in any subsystem, it will be definitely impact the others, and that is no there is so much of a interrelationship and interdependence of all the subsystems that anything happening, if one end is transmitted unto the other end, this interrelationship is not only between the system and subsystem of organization, but also with the environment around it. And when organization function, these relationship and interrelationship get established, and gradually organization obtain a systematic and orderly behavior, and then the whole system is said to be in a equilibrium. Any disturbance and in the system which leads the disequilibrium is the major concerns of the organization at the present. uh, the term change and refers to any alternation which occurs in the overall work environment of an organization, and it is to be emphasized that change is the law of nature. It is a proven fact that nothing is a permanent except change. Change has the following characteristics. Mm, One, change often results from the pressure of a focuses which are both internal and external to the organization. Second, the whole organization trends to be affected by the change in any subsystem of it. And third one, change takes place in all the subsystems of the organization, but at varying rates of a speed and a degree of a significance. Concept of a organization change. The organization change means the organization change means alteration of a status and cue of making thing different, which may refer to any alteration which occurs in the overall work environment of an organization. There are some internal and external forces disturbing the organizational system, and due to which the change may occur. The change is a modification of the organizational structure or processes, may be good or even bad, and it disturbs the exciting equilibrium or starts and Q2 in organization, and change in any part of the organization may affect the whole of the organization or various other interrelated parts of organization in a varying degree. The change may affect people, structure, technology, and other elements of an organization, and at the same time, it may be reactive or proactive in nature. The proactive change is initiated by the management on its own to enhance the organizational efficiency and effectiveness. But when change takes place due to external forces, it is called reactive change. It is one of the most critical aspects of effective management, and it's the coping processes of moving from the present state of the organization to a desired state, and that individual and groups undertake in a response to various internal and external factors that after current status organization, and that learn and cope with a change with thrive and flourish, and others who fail to cope with the change and will wipe out. The major forces and responsible for the changes are technological, economic, political science and social, legal, and international and labor market environments. Recent surveys of some major organization around the world have shown, and that all successful organizations are continuously interacting with the environment and making changes in their structure, design, or a philosophy, or a policies, or a strategies as the per the need and demand of the market. When an organization operates and functions for a long time, and uh, when an organization operates and functions for a long time, and an adjustment between It's a technical, human, structural, and up is established which trends to approximate equilibrium in a relation to its environment. In other words, we can say and that the organization members evolve a tentative set of relations with the environment our out of the whole situation they have an adjustment with their job and working condition, friends, and colleges, etc. Change requires individuals to make new adjustment, and hence the fear of adjustment gives rise uh, to the problem of change and a resistance to change, and due to the same, the individual comes into danger. On the other hand, the individual and groups resist um, changes where their existence is in danger, or a total change in a overall work environment is a contemptible. The change in any part of the organization may affect the whole of the organization or various other inter related parts of the organization, varying degree simulating of a for change. There are a member of a specific even obvious factors which will necessitates movement from the status quo in any organization, and think about the change. The most various obvious of these factors relate to change in the external environment, which trigger reaction. An example of this in the last couple of years in the move by various organizations towards the provision of more environmental friendly and forms of produce. However, to attribute change entire unto then environment would be a denial of a extreme magnitude, and which would imply that organizations were merely and bobbing about on a turbulent sea of change, unable to influences or exercise directions. The only thing and they can do is to make some modification within an organization which takes place in a response both to business and economic events and to processes of management, uh, perception, choice, and action. Managers in this sense see the modifications occurring in the organization as indicators of change. At the same time, the managers perceive the internal context of a change as the sorry as it relates and to structure, cultural system of a power and control which given them further cues about whether and it is worth and trying to introduce change. But what causes change, what factors need to be considered, and when we look for the casual effects and which run from the present to desired state in an organization, the change may be occur in a response be But what causes change and what factors need to be considered when we look for the ca- casual effects and which run from present to desired state in an organization, the change may occur in a response to the change in a technology. There are a number of factors, both internal and external, which affects the functioning of the organization. And more important factors are as follows. The new economic policy has a liberalizations the economy to a large extent. Then also many of the regularly laws have been amended and to reduce the uh, interferences of the government in a business. External forces. The organization do not have any control over the variables exciting in a external environment and which is impacting it both directly and indirectly. According the organization cannot change the environment but must change them to align with the environment in order to gain the equilibrium. A few these factors are demographic characteristics, introduction and planned change. mm, Demographic characteristics, organization need and effectively manage the diversity because this is very important thing and to be managed at the time to of change. The organization needs maximum contribution and commitment from employees to gain the equilibrium. Second thing is technology. Technology is the major external force which calls for change and the adoptions of a new technology such as computers, telecommunication system and flexible manufacturing operations has a profound impact on the organization that adopt them. Both manufacturing and services organization are increasingly using technology as a means to improve productivity and market competitiveness. Manufacturing companies and for example have a automatic met their operations with a mm, robotic, computerized numerical control CNC, and which is used for a mental cutting operation and computer aided design CAD metal. Sorry, a computerized process of drafting and designing engineering drawings of a products. Companies have just begun and to work on a computer integrated manufacturing CIM and is a highly technical process attempts to integrating integrating product design with the product planning and control and operations. Office automation consists of a large host of comprised technologies that are used to obtain and store, analyze, interrupt, uh, retrieves, and communicate information. Marketing and condition. Marketing conditions are no more static. Because the emergence of global economic is forcing Indian companies and to changing the way the they do businesses. The companies must go for few partnership with their suppliers in order to deliver on higher quality and products at lower prices. They they are in the process of a rapid change as the needs, desires, preferences, and expectation of the customers change and rapidly and frequently. Moreover, there is two competitions in the market as the market is flooded with new products and innovations very deep. The new methods of advertising are used to influence in customers. Today, the concept of a consumerism has gained considerable importance and is the need of the heart. Moreover, the global economy will make sure the competition are likely to come across the ocean as well as from across town. Successful organizations uh, will be those and who can change in a response and to the cut throat competitions, and those organizations those are not ready and for these new sources of competition in the next decade and may not exist for long, so they have to think proactively. Fourth one is the social and political pressure. These forces, social, cultural, and political, are created by social and political events. There are a lot of social changes observed in the society. In the society, I have a spread of education knowledge and a lot of government efforts, social quality, equality. Example, equal opportunities to women, equal pay for equal work has posed uh, new challenges, and for the management has to follow certain and social norms in shaping and employment and other policies. मॅमला बोलूया. Stop here.